everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jennifer. And yes, I still have a little bit of Halloween going on. I know that today is the day after Halloween, but I love Halloween. It's my favorite time of year, so I'm stringing it out as long as I can. Today's video is going to be some of the products that I find myself reaching for way more often than I thought I would. These are some things that I have picked up recently that I really like and I'm using quite a lot of. And some of them are things that you're going to be like, oh yeah, that makes sense that Jennifer would like gravitate towards them. And then there's others that honestly, I either had no intention of picking up or I haven't reviewed for you yet because I just ran out of time. Or when I first used them, I was like, yeah, this is okay. And now I'm like, wow, I really like this more than I thought. So let's start with what's on my face. I have on as foundation the Chanel. This is the Beiges, and I guess this is the Touch. That's how it's referred to. The original one was La Tente, and this is the Touch. I use this a lot. Honestly, I've used this more than any other foundation. The HD foundation is my favorite for when I'm like at a conference and I'm like traveling and I'm doing 15-hour days and I need something that's going to last the whole day and I don't have to worry about it. Because I find that my skin now, especially as we're getting into the winter months, is getting drier. That foundation, it's not irritating, but it's not nourishing. So when I first put it on, it does feel a little tight. It doesn't feel uncomfortable. It just feels a little tight. As the day goes on, it doesn't feel like anything. It honestly feels fine. But by the end of 15 hours, I still don't. It looks exactly the same. It really does. It's very impressive foundation. But it does look a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Not dry on me, but it doesn't look as luminous on me here in the winter months. So it's great for a 15-hour day because I know it's going to last and I don't have to check it and it's fine and it looks great. But when I'm just like going out to dinner, or I'm going to like, I don't know, out for drinks, or I'm going to just, this is what I'm reaching for. Because if I'm just looking for something for like a couple of hours, 5 hours at the most, this is perfect. It looks luminous, it looks skin-like, it just is beautiful and pretty, and it makes me look healthy, and it lasts. What I noticed though is about the 6-hour mark, I start to get a little bit of shine through here. Now, again, I'm dry skinned. If you haven't watched my channel before, my skin is relatively dry. So that is a little, like surprising for someone who has drier skin. My skin is definitely more towards average though, quote normal, in the last couple years. So I'm not supremely dry like I used to be. But yeah, I do get a little bit of shine. Now it's easy to remove that shine. And I'll mention a powder in a little bit that you could use to reduce that shine. So it's not a big deal. I mean, I carry the Westman Atelier powder with me, the pink bubble, and I just kind of pat it in and it's fine. But it's something that I do have to touch up a little. But I have to say, every dinner or drinks or anything that I've done in the last, this will go up November 1st, in the last 2 months, I've worn this. And I love it. I just do. I think it's a great product. I'm reaching it for it far more than I thought I would. And honestly, it wasn't even something that I was that excited about because I had the La Tente, which I do love, but it was a little less coverage. So it's, this one actually has decent coverage and it feels like nothing is on your skin and it looks luminous and it makes your skin look like perfected. They cannot ever change this. So I have to buy like a backup. I don't know if this goes bad. Anyway, I have it in, I think it's BR12. Is it BR12? Yeah, BR12. Now, totally a favorite of mine. I do have on the Chanel bronzer in light. Again, I did not pick up the light originally. I picked up the medium and the deep, and when I was in Italy. And the light I didn't pick up because honestly, it just didn't look like anything on me. But here's the thing. In the winter, fall, winter, it's perfect. It is a little warm. I like the cooler toned bronzers. But the thing is, again, in the fall, winter, when I look paler, and frankly, the lasers have I have had 2 of them done, which reminds me I have to make a 3rd appointment. This is reminding me while I was doing this video. Have evened out my skin tone, so it is actually even paler. And the light is really great for this time of year because it gives me a little bit of warmth, but not too much. So the Chanel Beiges, the oversized bronzer in light, if you have a similar skin tone, and yeah, you don't like it because it's a little bit warm, I get that, but it is really good. That is supposedly a limited edition product. I've seen it in places, so I don't know if that's going away or not. I'm totally confused about the limited edition thing at this point in my life. But anyway, yeah, I find it, I ended up actually using it all the time. And I don't think I'll hit pan on it anytime soon because it's huge, but I do like it a lot more than I thought I was going to. That's the way it goes, right? Okay, next is there's 2 highlighter luminizers, and then there's kind of 1 blush. So these are the Cle de Peau Holiday Luminizers. There's Shimmering Orb, which is 105. And then there is Radiant Superstar in 104. Now, I don't think I actually showed these on my channel because when I did the review of Cle de Peau, I had some of the products. I had like the eyeshadow. I don't think I had luminizers. And there are 2 luminizers, and I'll put down below which one is available. Was available just on the site, on the Cle de Peau site. It's a limited edition, and the other one was available in the other retailers. You're gonna say, well, you always like the luminizers. I do. I absolutely do. But let's see. This one's 104. And this one is 105. 105 is like the bluer of the 2. I think that the 105 is I think the bluish green one is the one that is limited. I don't know though. They're both limited edition, but I mean, was limited to the site. I'm not absolutely sure. I'll find out for you. I'll make sure it's below when I edit. I do always like the luminizers, but I have to tell you, I was so impressed with the Cle de Peau packaging this year. These are so stunningly beautiful, and the shades, these 2 shades are actually really, really stunning. I like them both. There's not a tremendous difference between them. I will be honest. I don't think it's drastic, but I find myself reaching, this is the 105. I find myself reaching for these a lot. And part of it, I think, is because the packaging is just so beautiful that I'm like, I just want to like have it on my counter so it's easy, it's within reach. That's part of it. But I think the way they do their luminizers are just amazing. So I'm going to take a relatively, I'm trying to find, I have the Zen series brushes. These are the Zen series. And the only one I don't have in the Zen is the big powder fluffy brush, only because I don't use a ton of powder. I have been thinking about buying it because I have all the other Zen brushes. These are Chikuhodo's. I don't know, maybe I will. Anyway, so I'm going to take a little bit of this highlighter and I'm just going to show you how beautiful this is. It's like, I can't really, I would say that the Cle de Peau in general are stunning. What it is about this year is that like somehow I like more. I don't know what it is. There's something about this one in particular, the 105. I just think it looks really beautiful. So both of these luminizers are stunning. I don't know, again, I'll have down below which one was the one that was just on the Cle de Peau site, but I really love these. Do I love them every year? Yes. But there's something, I think it's the blue in the way that I don't know, it reflects the light. There's something about it. I keep it on my table here and I just keep reaching for it because it's right there, but 2, I think it's really good. The other one that really surprised me, put it on in a second. This is the Natasha Denona My Dream Cheek Trio. And I actually like the palette too, the My Dream palette. I think it's really good. But the highlighters in here, there's like this powder one looks like this. And then there's the cream one that looks like this. They're both really stunning. And they're very easy to use. Like they just, they're very subtle. I'll hold it up in a second. It's a very subtle look, and they're not too warm, they're not too cool. They're really good neutrals. If you're looking for something that is gonna work, that's gonna be a really nice neutral highlight that you don't have to like really worry about, frankly. I'm just gonna put a little here so you can see what I mean. You don't want something too sparkly, and you don't want something that's gonna be like, too shiny. This is an excellent one. I'm just using my finger with the powder actually, because it's that finely milled that you can just, you don't even need a brush. It's really beautiful. I really like this palette. Now the blush that's in here is also really nice. The color is a good pink neutral color. It's like a dusty rose. That's the way I would explain it. And you can build it up. It's not super pigmented though. I'm not gonna, it's not a Pat McGrath blush, but it's definitely pigmented more than I'd say a lot of blushes I've used. I kind of give it like, it's sort of got that, that Dior feeling to it. Like it's very smooth. And I love the shade, to be honest with you. I think it's just, for me, and again, this is my coloring, but I just think it's a great shade for me. It's a really good dusty pink. I haven't had any problems with like losing it during the day. Like it stays on my skin. I really like it. I think it's really nice. It's smooth. It's, doesn't fade. It doesn't settle in the lines. I think it's beautiful. So I was very surprised by that. We're going to get into the eye product in a minute because the eyeshadow is something that I haven't actually reviewed for you guys yet. Natasha Denona, I want to continue with this for a second. This is the My Dream I Need a Nude Lip Crayon. Again, this is the Natasha. This is the one that I didn't have when I reviewed the collection. I had the lipstick and I had the lip gloss, but I didn't have the liner. I still love the lip gloss and the lipstick. They're really good shades. If you don't like a pinky brown, you won't like them, but I love a pinky brown, so this is perfect. I went ahead and ordered the pencil before the Sephora sale so you guys could see it during the Sephora sale. It absolutely is worth picking up. I really like the formula. It's much smoother than her other pencils, actually, along with her lipstick and her gloss. I don't know, she changed the formula a little bit with the liner and the lipstick and the gloss. They're a little bit different, a little bit more nourishing, and they feel very comfortable on the lips, and the shade is a very me shade. So if you're looking for a pinky brown neutral, I think the lipstick, the lip liner, and the gloss are all good choices. And the Dream Cheek Trio and the eyeshadow palette, I would all recommend. And the Sephora sale is going on while this video goes up, so I would definitely pick them up. Okay, eye look. This is the Isamaya eyeshadow palette. Now, I talked about the lip product. I think I did. Or has it not gone up yet? It might not have gone up yet. If it's not up yet, you'll be seeing the lip product very soon. But this is the eyeshadow palette. And the eyeshadows that are in here are really stunningly beautiful. And it's funny because I've used these, but it doesn't even look like they've been touched, which is odd. Maybe it just doesn't pick up brush strokes. Anyway, I really have used them, especially, well, I'll explain in a minute. They're not what you expect. So yes, it's a little grungy, but I like a little grungy because I lived through the 90s. But there are green shades in here that are beautiful, and there are also shades in here that you don't expect. So you see this like white shade here. When I put my finger in this and I was like, oh, it's a beautiful white. It's not white, it's opal. And it's a gorgeous opal. It's got like this purple, yeah, that'll pick it up, lilac shift, which is stunning. And I did not see that coming when I was trying out the shades. I was like, oh, good white. And then I was like, that's not white. And it's really beautiful. There's another one in here, this one here, and the shades are on the back and I can talk about that, but it feels granular. It feels odd when you put it on your finger. But the reason is it's this incredibly wet looking metallic silver shade. And it looks amazing on the eye. Like seriously, I was like, oh, okay. And wait till you see this one. So this is like a lime green, but yeah, the shades in here are really stunning. And there's this one, which one was it? I think it's this one. Yeah. There's a lot of green in here. There's a lot of green in here. And then the mattes in here are really nice too. So the formula feels like kind of like a Pat McGrath kind of thing because they're creamy and they feel a little funny when you put them on your finger. And then you go to put them on your eye and you get this like very metallic, intense look. I don't think this palette is made for somebody who wants a very subdued, very light look. I would actually say that the Pat McGrath Mega Mothership, which I think I have done the video, I think that has gone up, is actually more subtle and everyday, quote, everyday, than this is. This is meant for somebody who really likes something a little bit edgier, a little bit grungier, a little bit different. It's not that you couldn't do an everyday look with this. You can. You can do it with any palette, frankly. But I don't know why you'd want to, because the formulas in here are so unique and like so interesting. I think I would be like, well, you know, what is the point of that? I could buy just a simple, you know, frankly cheaper palette to achieve that. So I'm really impressed with everything that's in here, and I really like this palette, and I like all the shades. So anyway, I really like this, and I didn't expect to because I really wasn't planning on picking it up. So I'm going to do a very simple eye look today. I am not going to fast forward or anything because everybody says that they want to see the video. They want to see me put this stuff on. So I'm going to do that. But I'm not going to do anything complicated because today was really just to talk about some of the things that, frankly, I've been reaching for, that I've been using, that I haven't really had a chance to either go into detail on, follow up on, or in this case, even talk to you about, because I didn't have time to show you this particular palette. And they're matte, but they're not, I mean, I don't know how to explain the formula. It's like creamy. It's really nice, all of them. And what shade, see if I can get you this shade name. How did she set this up? I think she set it up so it's, I think, we'll see. I think this is Diesel. I think that's the name of the shade. Diesel. And the other matte, like pure matte, I think is this one. And this is, I believe this one is Leather. But Diesel looks like a grayish shade, whereas Leather, I think it's black, but, well, no. The shades are a little bit more unusual. Like they're not pure, like that white shade that I showed you that's really opal and purple. That's what I mean. Like her shades, these aren't like super straightforward, which is not a bad thing. You just have to play with them a little bit. But I've found them really, I've had fun using this because it's just a little different. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you use makeup a lot and, you know, you're using it like every day, or you're playing with lots of different products, it's kind of fun to come across something that's a little bit different. Would I say this is a palette that I'm going to use every day? Maybe not, but, you know, like I said, I think you could use it to be an everyday palette. I just feel like it would almost be a waste because the formulas in here are so pigmented and so pretty and shiny that I'd want to, like, I don't know, I think to use them to their full effect kind of thing, I'd be like, oh, you're kind of wasting it. All right, so let's just pulling this a little bit here, like up. And I'll clean up like I usually do on the outside of my eye at the end, but I'm just kind of making sure that I have it the way I want it to look. Okay. Yeah, there's so many pretty shades in here that are just really interesting. It's just, I mean, I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed with the palette, and it doesn't hurt that there's green. There's a lot of greens, actually. This shade is like I'd say this is more of an army green that I'm using right now, and it's kind of got like a satin look to it. Now, I did get this on sale. There was like a code. Thank you, Judy, for telling me about it. I think it was like 30% off or something like that. I'll be honest, I don't remember exactly. But, you know, I think this is quote, worth it at its full price, in the sense that the formulas in here are very good. And I like the color story, but I like more of that grungy kind of look. Like, I like the colors. If you're looking for something like super neutral, I wouldn't say this is super neutral. But so I think that the formulas make it worth the money. But I think there'll be other sales for this. I think it's, you know, there'll be sales for holiday, Black Friday, that kind of thing. Which, you know, it would be a good time to pick it up. Yeah, I'm actually really impressed with the formulas in here. I think they are actually quite beautiful, and you know, you get your money's worth. Like, this is not just any other palette kind of thing. Now, again, if you're just somebody who likes a, you know, neutral, and there's nothing wrong with this, brown palette, yeah, no, this is not going to be it. Or if you like something that's like really pinks and cool colors, I don't think this is it either. There are cool shades in here. There's just one really deep graphite shade. I gotta show you this. This thing is like impressive. Like, look at that. It looks like a wet, sparkly charcoal. I love it. Anyway, so it does have cool colors in here. It's not that, but it's not like pinks and purples. This is more of a grungy, it's like a grungy kind of look. But again, I think it's stunning. But it's definitely worth it in the regards that you're gonna have payoff here. Like, it's not like you're gonna put your finger in one of these and you're not gonna get, you know, the color. That is not gonna happen. With all of these, it's very pigmented and goes on your eye beautifully and all those things. But it's not a palette for everyone. I would just say that. Not that any palette is, because, you know, someone's always going to be like, well, that's too boring, or that's too much, or that's too something. So, you know, but if you look at it on the eye, like, I chose to go with greens, of course. It's just really, it's impressive. It's a beautiful palette. And I actually have been using it more than I thought I would, because I've just been using like one shade or two shades out of it, to like give another look, like a little bit of like, ooh, you know, that's a little different. So yeah, I actually use it more than I thought I would. And the greens, again, like I love these like kind of a little bit grungy kind of greens. So anyway, I really like the palette. I think the formulas are really good. They're very interesting. I will say that because of the Han Solo, it's not Han Solo. I mean, it's a figure, woman's figure, but it reminds me of the Han Solo thing. I tend to put it down, and it like, but it does, believe it or not, if you put it like this, it is flat. Like, the way she did it was that these line up so that if you put it down on its face, it is flat. It doesn't flip, it doesn't, you know, split to the side or like fall over or anything. It does go flat. But if you're somebody who doesn't like if you lean it, you know, it's always gonna go flat, but it's not gonna be flat against your surface, because you're gonna have this thing here. If that kind of thing bothers you, and it does bother some people, I get it. But it doesn't bother me. I'm really impressed by this. I think the formulas are really good. There's a lot of really amazing shades in here. It kind of reminds me of like the first time I tried Pat McGrath. That kind of feeling, because it's different and unique. I like the color story. Again, I like sort of these grungy greens, and the gray silvers are my kind of thing. If you're looking for a very neutral or pink purple leaning, this is absolutely not your thing. But if you're like me and you like these shades and you're looking for something that can like be a little special, a little unique, this palette is a great choice. So let me put on a little bit of mascara, and then we will finish up with lipstick and some powder. I know, powder, weird for me, that you guys might be interested in. Okay, a little bit of mascara. I seriously cannot say enough about the Isamaya products. The lip products, if the video hasn't gone up yet, it's like a lip serum. It's really good. It does have like a purplish blackish cast to it, which is the purpose, like that's the point of it. But it's really very comforting. It looks really nice on the lips, and it's perfect for, like, let's say you have a lipstick that's a little bit too warm and you want to sort of cool it down a little bit. It works really well. In fact, you know what? I'll pull it out for today and I'll use it over the lipstick product that I'm going to talk about. And then we'll get to the powder product, which I think everyone's going to be surprised because I don't usually talk about powder products because I just generally don't use them. So this is the Bobbi Brown Lux lipsticks. This, they came out with the Lux formulas. I really, really like these lipsticks. They are very comforting. They feel like great on the lips. If you're somebody like me who has very dry skin and drier lips, these are really good. Now the shade Afternoon Tea is actually a favorite of mine. I have been wearing this a great deal. And it does kind of look like a tea shade, you know, like a warm, but it has a little bit of pink to it, brown lipstick. It's beautiful on, and honestly, I don't use anything to change the color, but today we'll use the Isamaya over it. So let me show you the shade first. It's a beautiful shade. Perfect for autumn. I'm going to try to do like something on maybe Instagram about my favorite lipsticks for fall. This is one of them. Really new to me, but the shade is like my perfect autumn shade. I absolutely love it. And the formula is really easy to use. It's very smooth. It glides right on. It doesn't take more than one pass. It's opaque enough that you don't have to go over it. Doesn't, you know, bleed. It's really good formula. And there's a whole bunch of shades. So, you know, I don't want to go crazy and buy like a whole bunch of lipsticks that I'm not going to wear. So I'm not going to go buy every shade, but I am going to see if I can try to find these in a store so that I can try out the other shades. But this one, Afternoon Tea, I think it's like just beautiful. So this is the Isamaya gloss. I think they actually call it a serum. And as you can see, it looks kind of blackish purple, and it's got this like spatula almost kind of form of a doe foot. And it's like a purple. It's like a purpley black gloss. Now, by itself, I actually think it's very pretty on the lips. It does remind me of the 90s. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But if you put it over a lipstick, see how that cooled it down? It now has more of has a little bit more of almost like a rose shade. Again, I love the shade by itself. I don't think it needs to be cooled down, but let's say you thought it was too warm. If you put this over pretty much any lipstick that you have, I think it's going to cool a shade down for you if you're looking for that. And I think by itself, it's actually quite beautiful. So I'm actually really impressed with the Isamaya products. And they have she has a couple other things. I think she has like a gloss product, like a highlighter kind of product. It was in like a bobble looking thing. And I think there was something else. So I actually might, for the next sale that she has, pick up more because I really like her things. The aesthetic might not be your aesthetic, but the products are really good and I'm really enjoying them. So, you know, again, it's not always what we expect. And on that note, this is the Givenchy powder. This is the Prisme Libre limited edition powder in 12. I have said a couple of times, I don't really like the puffer jacket thing. It's just not me, but that's fine. You know, like whatever. The reason I don't generally love the Givenchy powders is I feel like they're a little messy because you have to basically push this into the cap, and I don't know. I don't love that. I kind of like when you compress. It has like a netting and you can press on it, or a pressed powder. The Westman Ateliers are like my favorite. But I have to say, this combination, if you haven't seen it, if you haven't seen my other videos on it, of purple, lilacs, and kind of peachy pinky shades, is actually quite flattering. And for me, somebody who has, you know, pale skin tone, this does work extremely well on my face. Now, I have a little bit of extra powder, so I'm gonna kind of press it in all over. And then I'm gonna press it into the skin. I think you can see how much lightness, how much brightness it brings to the center of my face. And I did put on a little extra powder than I would normally put on, frankly, for me, but I wanted you to see it on camera because it is actually pretty drastic. Like it's very brightening, lightening. And what I wanted to say, because I think it's always important to admit when you've not made a mistake, but when you might have underestimated something. I said when I did the video that it was good and I liked it. It's better than good. This is very good. Combination of the lilacs, purples, and the pinks and the peach actually is an extremely good combination. It does really brighten up this area of your face. It does remind me of the pink bubble in Westman Atelier, which I love because it's pressed and I can carry it. If you're looking for a loose powder I'll be honest, I don't know how it's gonna work on a deeper skin tone. I'm very pale, so you know, take that into account. It may have more of a white cast on a deeper skin tone. I can try to use it on my husband, but he's not gonna let me use it on his face. So that's why it's a little hard for me to gauge. But it is brightening, lightening. It does look beautiful. And there's no lines. Like I can look at it right now. It doesn't settle into any lines. It doesn't age me. It doesn't dry me out. And like I said, my skin is dry. So it is available, at least as I record this, as part of the Sephora sale. It is a really beautiful, just a really beautiful combination of loose powder. So with that, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you in another video really soon.